I'm Joe. I make Strumbolina stick dulcimers, and I am going to give you a quick little lesson today on the basics. Alright, so this is a stick dulcimer. The parts of a stick dulcimer, or pretty much any stringed instrument, this part here is the body. This part in the middle is the neck. The top, where the tuning pegs or tuning machines are, is the headstock. The top of the neck is called the fingerboard. These metal pieces are the frets. This little piece of wood here, that's the bridge. There are 3 strings. The first string is the one on the bottom, if you hold it like this. The smallest one, first string. The middle string is the second string. And the top string, the biggest string, is the third string. Alright, so the first thing you need to know is how do you hold it? Well, the main thing you want to achieve is that you don't want to have to hold up the neck. So there is a cord with a slip knot in it. Open it up, put it around your head and your right arm, and you should be able to balance it to keep the neck from falling down. Some people rest it on their thigh. Some people just kind of hold it against their belly. I do that. I hold it with my forearm, and anyway, that leaves your left hand free to just do the work of playing a tune. Alright, so let's get playing. First thing we need to do is to tune up. Normally you would tune this to the key of G, which is the first string is a G, the middle string is a D, and the third string is a G. There are lots of free tuners available for phones, for Android, for iPhones. You can use one of those. They're pretty easy. But you don't really need to if you don't want to. All you really have to do is get your Strumbolina in tune with itself. The easiest way to do that is to start with the third string, strum it a few times. I just use my thumb here, just strum it, and then have my thumb rest against the middle string, so I'm just hearing one sound. And if it sounds about like that or pretty close, alright, that's good, we'll tune it to that. Now, count the frets. This one up here is the 0 fret, or the nut. So start here with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So between the 3rd and the 4th fret, put one of your fingers, I usually use my middle finger for this, on the 3rd string, the top string, the big string. Put it between fret number 3 and fret number 4. Not on top of the fret, just a little bit behind it. And then strum your note. Now what you want, that note from the top with your finger here, should be the same as the middle note. So top note, middle note, top note, middle note. Now let me just change this a little bit. Okay, so that's off a little bit. So what you do is you just turn the tuning peg just a little bit. You don't have to turn them very much. And then try and let it ring. Kind of use your ear to hear when it's just about right. Sounds alright. It's always easier to tune up, to start with it lower and then turn it a little bit higher and a little bit higher. So if you're not sure, crank it down a little bit and then slowly work back up to the note. Alright, so that gets our second string in tune. Now to get our first string in tune, we use that same finger, move it to the middle string, but then down between frets 2 and 3. So this was the 3rd string, and here is where we do the middle string. So that middle string and the first string should be the same. Not quite, I'm a little bit out of tune, so I'm just gonna crank that up a little. That sounds good. And give them all strummed together. Alright, I think that sounds pretty good, so we're good to go. Alright, so first thing we want to do with the Strumbolina after we've tuned it is to strum it. There are, well, two basic strokes of strumming: downstroke and upstroke. Start with the down. The down is pretty straightforward. I try to strike the strings with my fingernail, usually of my index finger. I kind of try to aim for this area right where the fingerboard ends and the body begins. It's kind of a natural place for the length of most people's arms. You can do it anywhere, just wherever it's comfortable. Find a comfortable spot to hold it, and just wherever your hand lies, that's going to be good enough. So the goal here is to hit all of the strings and as relatively quickly as you can. So, and all I'm doing is scraping my fingernail along all the strings. Alright. Music is made up of two things. It's made up of notes, and it's made up of timing or rhythm. By far, the most important of those is timing, rhythm. So, a dulcimer, we're missing some frets. We don't have all the notes available. That's a good thing. That means we can't really play a wrong note, which means you don't have to worry about notes. What we want to learn how to do with the Strumbolina is to learn about timing. The notes will take care of themselves. So with our strum, just our downstroke, get your foot tapping, and we're just going to strum and count to 4. Strum some more, count to 4, like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Strum. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. You learn how to strum. Takes practice. You're trying to develop some muscle memory, so your brain doesn't have to do much. That's why we have it count, so it doesn't distract us from learning how to just move our hand to strum. Most of your motion is going to be in your forearm, a little bit in the wrist. The main thing you want to do is just strike the strings cleanly, get them all, and start to have a little bit of fun. Alright, so that's what our right hand is doing. What's our left hand going to be doing? Our left hand is going to be fretting notes. We're just going to start out worrying about this first string, and just use either your index finger or your middle finger. I sometimes change them around, but start with your index finger, and like we did when we were tuning it, when you fret a note, just press down on the string right behind the fret, not on top of it. No good on top. That'll give you kind of a dead sound. You want it right behind it. So put it on right behind the first fret, and then let's do our strum again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a little bit different. Now let's move our finger up one notch, one fret, and try that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now, staying in rhythm, let's go back down. We'll do 4 on the second fret, 4 on the first fret, and then 4 with our finger totally off. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. It's actually kind of similar to a song that you probably know. Instead of doing 4 strums on each one, let's just do 1 strum on each one. Alright, and we'll slow it down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. It's kind of like Name That Tune. Does it sound like anything to you? How about this? There, you probably recognize that. You start with your finger on the 2, down to 1, and then lift your finger off, and then you go back up, put it on the 1, put it on the 2, and then a couple more in there. Alright, let's try that. 1, 2, ready, go. Now we're going to do 3 more strokes on the 1st fret. And then back up to the 2nd fret. And then do the Mary Had a Little Lamb again. So, there you go. Practice your strum, practice your rhythm, and just practice, finding the best place for your finger. Not on top of the fret, just a little bit behind it. Not way back behind it, up close to it. You can touch it a little bit, not on top. Any of the notes. Just go crazy. The main thing you want to do, that muscle memory, get your right hand so you don't even have to think about it anymore. You just want to get that strum going. Nice and even. Rhythm, timing. That is the most important part of music. And then, once you get that down, throw in some notes. And you don't have to think about that. To worry about it, because your Strumbolina won't let you down. It's got all the notes covered. Alright, well that's all we're going to do for now. For the eager student, the next thing we are going to look at is the upstroke. You mess around with it a little bit. It's a little bit trickier than the downstroke. You just, I usually just use this inside pad on my finger and just go up, and then of course you go down, up, but we'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, have fun, keep on strumming. Thanks.